I just cannot get enough of this series. To the bluffing, to the cheating, to the wacky, crazy faces and wonderful voice actors, Kakegurui is such a good anime that I am truly enjoying from Summer of Anime 2017. This latest episode, oh my god, so it mixed up some things. It did have cheating, and even though it had cheating, there was a different layer to it that made this very enjoyable. Bluffing on a bluff. For instance, I'm bluffing, but am I really bluffing? So are you going to take my bluff, or am I bluffing about that bluff, or the bluffing? And I like how this series does that, how it handles this. And when the characters were all competing against each other in this episode, nobody really knew what was going on because they were all cheating. So basically, this entire match, this gambling competition, every character was cheating in their own way, but they knew everybody was cheating, which made it even more interesting because whoever came out on top, obviously it was kind of fair because everybody was doing their own method of cheating and they were fine with it. And so when you saw how the Mel character got wrecked at the end of the episode, it pleased me greatly. Now, I knew it was kind of obvious that he would get wrecked. I mean, it's just a given because of how much of a scumbag he was in the last episode and in this episode, finding out what he was doing to this other girl when he chopped her hair off and all that. He's like, oh yeah, it's kind of like fingernails. When you want to clip your fingernails, when I saw your hair, I just wanted to chop it off. And that man is very cruel, fucked up, and he's just a heinous individual that honestly deserved everything that was coming to him. Karma is a bitch. And so I expected the man to get, really, really wrecked. Like, the man was going to get completely destroyed, and he was just going to face the music. And in this case, that did happen. So on that end, it was predictable. However, the outcome of the match is what was really fascinating. When we found out that Mary and Yumiko, they were both cheating, and how they were cheating, that was the truly interesting part about it. Now, we knew that they were working together thanks to the last episode. For instance, they were just, sharing each other's hands when to call and when not to call or whatever. They were sharing information. And then in this episode, it's revealed once everything is just said and done, it is revealed that they didn't actually reveal their total debt. For instance, Yumiko, her total debt was 310 mil, if I am correct. I could be wrong there, forgive me if the numbers are off, but she had a high debt. She had the highest debt there. However, she didn't report her entire debt amount. She only reported 50 million, which in this case, it made it to where each individual piece, her chips, were not as important as, for instance, Mary's chips, because she reported a higher debt than normal. She reported, I think, 310 million Yumiko's debt. I think she actually reported that amount of debt similar to Yumiko. It's kind of like they exchange each other's debts. However, since these false reports, it's like they were making money or losing money in the way because of the student council. For instance, if we look at Mary, she only had a 50 million debt. Thanks to what she did when she reported the higher debt, when she had this loan to the main male character, basically, it was the point to where when she won that exchange, she shifted with the first place. She only was 10 million in debt now because she took the first place's, actual debt, and she profited 250,000, I think, 250 or 260,000, or 260 million, not thousand, 260 million or 250 million, and that is just crazy. And in this case, she could have easily have given this to Yumiko, but it proves that Yumiko doesn't necessarily care about money at all, which is revealed at the end of the episode. I'll get into that in a moment. But basically, though, what happened here is that the dude that got wrecked, he was trying to be a scumbag, and he got into this match because he was, in debt with his friend. He always set it up just for he could be there and just wreck people. Basically, they did the exact same thing to him. Yumiko and Mary, they exchanged debts. One of them didn't report their entire debt, while the other one made a false debt to where it was just completely high, way above where it could be. And in this case, if Mary wouldn't have won, she took a big risk, she would have been in debt. But also, you have to factor in too that the main male character, he could have easily pocketed that money. For instance, when the money was given to him, the 260 million, he didn't have to give that to Mary at all. So he could have ran off with that money. She would have been in debt. She would have been completely fucked. Like, she would have been in a very bad state. So thanks to the main male character being so nice is what got her out of the situation in the first place. So that's the only reason why she was able to handle and do something like that. Now, Yumiko, getting into her character, at the end of the day, she still has her exact debt. Her debt didn't change at all. Even though she only reported 50 million, her debt did not change because she was in third place, if I'm correct. She was in third place, and the other girl was in second place. Her debt didn't change as well. But basically, Yumiko, her debt didn't change. It didn't go up or down, remain the same. And it's basically stated that she doesn't give a shit at all about her debt. Money has no meaning. She doesn't care about money. She's more in it for the thrill of gambling, which makes a lot of sense when you think about her character and how she was kind of introduced in episode 1 and 2. So her being in it for the thrill of gambling and losing everything, or her life being fucked up, I guess that makes sense. But still, that just shows that she's terrifying because she doesn't care. She has no limits. She doesn't care if her life gets wrecked or whatever, because she will go all in. No matter what, she wants to go all in. No matter how large her debt is, she does not care. So Yumiko is that type of person, honestly, you wouldn't want to bet against, because they're just that fucking crazy when it comes to these type of games. But let's talk about the other girl in this episode, the one that got, her hair chopped. I like her. I really like her character. I actually would like to have more of her character in the future of this series. I don't know if she'll become a reoccurring character or not, but I do like how there was a little bit of spotlight on her, and she was developed in a way to where it shows she was moving past being, like, very shy and being manipulated constantly. She stood up for herself, she was angry, and she won against this asshole that was just, picking on her constantly and ruining her life. I mean, he was mistreating her, cutting her hair, treating her like a slave. And when she finally stood up against this man, even though she didn't win and her debt didn't really change, the point was, though, she had the backbone to stand up for herself and push herself down the proper path. So I do hope she pops up, because I'd like to see more of this character, because she's really cool, and I like how there was some focus on her. I mean, especially for a flashback, you would think that she would be focused on more in the future, but who knows. But overall, though, the latest episode of Kakegurui, great. It was a great episode. It was a great episode, along with a lot of development, crazy facial reactions. It was just a wonderful episode. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.